kill them with the sauce, kill them with the sauce. I am DJ, babe. I try to take my time, but it's not working. I'ma go and get mine. Money after money's on my mind. Someone should have warned you this ain't fun. It's nightmares running through my.
Hi, how's it, everybody? Hi, I am Ukhonaye. For those who don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't know who I am, because I feel like, especially with this episode, which is episode 1 of season 1, and there still will be more episodes and more seasons. We'll get into that later. So as I was saying, I don't know why you wouldn't know who I am, because I feel like for episode 1, usually the people who will be here watching are the people who know I was shooting this, who know I was doing this. That would be my friends and family and everyone else I've got on WhatsApp and all the other platforms that I use. So let's just get into what we're doing here. All right. So as I said, I am Ukhonaye Mconi. I'm also formerly known as Chef Ukhonaye if you have me on Instagram and Twitter, which I barely use because Twitter, I'm just like, I don't know what to do on Twitter besides watching, Anyway, anywho, as I said, I'm Chef Ukhonaye. So what we're doing here, we're calling this Cough Up. I know it's rather sensitive to talk about coughing in the times that we live in, but it's not COUGH, it's COF, which is conversations over food. So very simple, it's in the name. We will talk and I will cook. Very, very simple. All right. So right here today, I'm going to make my version of mac and cheese. I'm not really using macaroni, but I am using pasta. It's really curved pasta. I really like that pasta because it holds the sauce. We'll be cooking right through. And the nice thing about this whole situation is that this genius over here has a website. So what does that mean? If you don't catch it here, you don't have to write down anything besides what we talk about. If there are points that maybe you want to write in the comment section or whatever, if you want to text me, DM me, that you can do. All right. Oh, the water is almost ready for the pasta. Well, it's ready. So as we're saying, is that we are going to honestly enjoy this. We're going to talk, we're going to cry, we're going to laugh. There's a lot. I am a lot. I'm not a saint. And I think the conversations we're going to have, or the idea of the conversations we need to have, are going to be great. There's nothing too big, too small to talk about, all right? And hopefully, for season 2 of Cough Up, you never know. I might have a ring light on here. I might have a team. I might have my makeup done, You never know. It might be a TV station, that picks us up and just like, you know what, we like your idea, we like your energy, let's do this. You never know. So at this moment in time, we're shooting this on my phone and there'll be no editing. There's no opening music. What you just heard now, that was IMDb, pause. It's not my opening song. I don't own that song. It's not mine. I just like it. So there won't be any, welcome to my YouTube channel. Press the bell, subscribe. You subscribe, you don't subscribe, it's okay. It's okay, guys. That's another thing. People make us feel guilty if we don't subscribe to their channels. I'm just like, maybe I don't want to go on YouTube and see you. I want to go in and find my music, find whatever TV program that I want to watch. I don't want to go on and first thing I see is Ukhonaye. But that's just me. That's just me. If you want to see me, I don't blame you. Now. You know what I'm talking about? You just might, but that's just me. So I'm not forcing anyone to subscribe. I'm not forcing anyone to press the bell, whatever that is. None of that. You do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and so forth. All right? Because it's the same as you. You can't DM me like, I'm waiting for an episode. I will give you an episode when I have an episode, when I want to give you an episode. All right, so you can't just want things. Same as I just can't want things from you. All right, so let's just quickly start with the cooking, So as I said, we're doing my take on mac and cheese. There are a few traditional stuff that we do that are a normal mac and cheese, and then obviously there's just an Ukhonaye touch, right? So we'll start with the pasta because that's the one thing that will take the longest. Oh, that's a good effect. That's good. Right? Oh, and you're probably asking like, what's with the glasses? Like, oh my god, are they really salt, by the way? And I have these cool salt thingies. I'm not gonna tell you where I bought them because I'm not here to promote shops. No. So just pinch of salt, get that going. So the water's already boiling. Then I have my pasta. Let me show you quickly. First, you didn't show me anything. I don't know what you're making. All right? Right here. All right. All right. Let's go to the pot. So I've got it boiling water. We'll add that to them. We let that go. Oh, and by the way, because I told you this is very candid, this is me in my space, my time. There will be no camera stand. Literally, my phone is on the microwave, balanced on my oil burner. Because I've got all these, I love oils. I love my space at the moment. Smells like lemongrass. That's what it smells like. I love space. Clean today, and no, I didn't clean because I'm shooting this. I cleaned because I actually like clean spaces. You know, I like a space that smells fresh, which will blame my mom, which I don't think she had mild OCD. I think she had proper OCD. It was never mild. It was OCD. So if the house doesn't smell like, oh yes, funny story, I have to tell you this. Talking about cleaning, if she was cleaning, she would say, if you're gonna clean, the house better smell like bleach. All right? Because if it doesn't, she'll ask you like, how do you know it's clean? How do you actually know that it's clean if it doesn't smell like bleach? So that was it. I remember, I hope they don't kill me, don't really care. We used to, back in the day, visit family. We used to do Christmas like with my mom's family, side of the family, and my mom would always be ones that arrive early because she was always cooking. I mean, i.e., look at me, I'm a chef. Thanks, mom. So I remember it was Christmas, and her cousins, my aunts, they were cleaning. They were done cleaning. Sorry, they were done cleaning, and we walked in, and then she was like, "Oh, so you guys haven't started cleaning yet? But the rest of the family's on the way. So why haven't you guys cleaned?" And then they were like, "What do you mean? We cleaned. The house is very clean." And then she was like, "Okay, if you think so, all right." It's actually new. It's actually new this would happen. She literally went to one of the bedrooms, took off her clothes. So her cleaning gear, which I think I need to purchase as well, just for spirit, you know, because the house was spotless when she cleaned. Her cleaning gear was a normal t-shirt and tights, and that's exactly what she did. She took off her Christmas clothes and she wore tights. She was there, and she was like, after she was done, she showed them the water, like from mopping or whatever, and she was like, "You said you cleaned." And then she was like, "Can you smell that? That smells like a clean house." I don't know what you guys were doing earlier on, because this is not it, you know? So yeah, I cleaned because I'm a clean person. I know I think I was abused younger because my mom was just like, "You gotta clean," didn't have a choice. But I thank her for this. So yeah, that is why I cleaned, and that's why I'm clean. You know what I'm talking about? Even though in lockdown, I actually dress up daily, and I put on my colognes because I'm just like, I don't have to be outside to smell nice. I don't have to be outside with other kids to look nice, you know? You never know who's gonna video call you, and then they are looking like yesterday's bread. What do we do now? All right, it's a no-go. So I have a few ingredients out. So we're going to make a white sauce. It's called a bechamel. Now, talking about that, this is hilarious. I always find this hilarious. I always find this conversation about this white sauce very interesting, because people call bechamel a cheese sauce. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's a bechamel. It's a white sauce. It's literally, it's a roux with milk. So roux is equal parts flour, equal parts fat, which is your butter. And please, guys, we need to talk about this right now so you can understand who you're dealing with. I don't do margarine, and if you're gonna attempt any of my recipes and there's fat in there, but there is no margarine, you should throw it out. You know, butter tastes nice. It is so good. You don't even have to use a lot, because you just, oh my gosh, I don't understand people who eat plastic, but anyway, that's, we all come from different homes, I suppose. But butter, guys, goes along. I know it's expensive, but you don't use huge amounts. You understand? Just enough to get the taste going, to get whatever you're frying going, and so that's all you want. You know. Oh, by the way, I just saw my skin, golden hour. Oh, by the way, I feel like I should be a bit darker. Let me just take out a colander quickly. Because I actually don't know where I put my colander. Okay, doesn't matter. But yeah, so we're making a white sauce. As I said, it's a bechamel with cheese. So it's not a cheese sauce, it's a bechamel with cheese. All right, that's the sauce part of the mac and cheese. All right, it's not a cheese sauce. So I've got my stove on a medium high temperature, and I've got butter. Actually, I have to show you my setup, because this is okay. This is, I love pretty spaces. Let me put my salt and pepper together because it looks great. I love nice spaces. I love, I'll just put this over here. Always have water ready. Just saying, always have water ready. So what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying I'm gonna show you the ingredients because I love dressing up my space. I love making it look pretty, and let me put the grater there and make it look like I just grated the cheese now. But I prepped, right? Not that prep. Like prepared. It's a chef term. I prepared the food. Prep. You get it. I don't have to explain, do I? No. So let me show you quickly. All right. So here's everything. Look at this. Those are two types of cheeses. I've got a white cheddar and white Gouda. I've got Parmesan here. I've got flour. I've got milk. I've got sour cream. I've got salt and pepper, butter, right? And then obviously I had to be extra. I have, just in case you don't know how to spell my name. All right. So that's what we're doing. So while the pasta is going, I don't know if that's still the same position. If not, but you can still see me. So I said I've got my pot, or saucepan on a medium low. So my stove goes up to 6, and I've got it on 4. Goes up to 6, but I've got it on 4. And you might just see a little bit of blonde hair right there, because you know, we're in lockdown, frustration, and you're just like, oh my word, let me just dye my hair. It is what it is. Bleach it, didn't really dye it. So okay, so I've got, if you saw now I had a few blocks of butter. So I am going to, don't worry about the amounts for now, I shall give you those on my website. So that's the only YouTube thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep on referencing my website, because it will be in the description box. Just saying, great recipes, honestly, foolproof. Even if you've never cooked before, they work. And how I know that? Because I'm a lecturer, so I know when things are simple, right? I know when things are simple. Been lecturing for 2 years now, so I do know. So I've added, let me add 2 more. 1 more butter. I've added 3, 6, 7. No, let's do 8. So I've got 8 small blocks of butter on there. You're gonna wait for it to melt. Have your wooden spoon. So tell me about wooden spoon. This has been either a disciplinary utensil, or we cook with it. And for many years as a child, because I was a very naughty child, you know, I think my cousins, aunts, everyone knows I was just like that child. And then look at me, I grew up into such a great gentleman. And then in my first year of lecturing, I have to tell you this story. In my first year of lecturing, a student of mine, so I was introducing myself, I was like, okay, and then I spoke about where I come from, which is Ukhonaye, Ukhonaye. There we go, that's where I'm from, the Eastern Cape. Love that place, because they know how to have a good time all the time. Like, I think they're having a good time right now during this pandemic, but anyway. So I told them this is where I'm from, and there were questions, obviously, because I was like, no, ask me questions, whatever you want to know. They're like, okay, do you have siblings? I have a little sister, Sissy, love her to bits. She's awesome. She really is awesome. I'm so happy though that I have a sibling like her. I'll tell you now why. So, and they was like, oh, okay, then I've got a dad. And then in that year, which was now 2018, when I started lecturing, in January of that year, my mom, or our mom, passed on, right? So I spoke about that. I was like, oh no, my dad is still alive, so my sister lives with my grandmother, and our dad lives in his house. So they were like, oh, so sorry to hear that, which I always find it weird, because I generally don't know how to react when someone goes, oh my word, you lost your mom. Like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that, yes, it's sad, but yeah. Anyway, so one of the students, I'll not shout you out because this is not a promo for you. One of my first class lecturers, she was like, oh chef, when's your mom's birthday? I was like, very random, but I was like, okay. I was like, okay, this is very, very weird. I was like, 4th of May. She was like, oh, okay. And then weeks passed on, and then she was like, oh, so what's your mom's name? You know, like, and I was like, why are you asking? And she's like, well, you know, chef, you always told us a story of how you started cooking, which was started cooking at the age of 10. Literally saw it as a chore only on the first day when I was taught. Afterwards, I was just a genius. I was watching cooking shows and I was trying stuff all the time. So she's like, no, man, I just want to know this person who inspired you to cook, because now look at you, you are our lecturer, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, okay. And I told her, I was like, no, my mom's name's Dani Swa Essential, which is a very funny story as to why her name is Udani. So if you understand isiXhosa, is Udaniswa is Udana, disappointed. But we'll talk about that a bit later. So I told her, and then she was like, oh, okay, cool. Passed by. Now, May came. And this is just me and my sister. It just happens that usually a day before, or just like 2 days before our mom's birthday, it's rather emotional, you know? It's like you're just down and all of that. So I was down and at school, whatever. And then on her birthday, I get called on campus. Like, Chef Ukhonaye, there's a delivery of him, like, delivery. And in my head, I dealt with my mom's birthday in the morning when I woke up. It's like, okay, cool. My sister was like, Sissy, how are you? Blah, blah. We had a bit of our cry session over the phone. Because obviously it was her first birthday since she passed. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Carried on with the day. And then now I'm getting a package. I'm like, a package? And then I get to reception. And there's just this box, really rectangular box. And I signed, I was like, Ukhonaye, yes, that's me. And this, oh, my glasses. So inside the box, there was a wooden spoon. And I didn't say anything because she was there and everyone was there. Everyone was like, oh my God. And then I just like, thank you, hugged it out, then went to the office and I cried. And I cried like nobody's business because, as I said, I used to get, wooden spoon used to be the disciplinary weapon of choice. And now it changed the whole outlook of what a wooden spoon is, because this is what the wooden spoon has: my mom's name, Daniswa M, which should be Mconi, my surname. And then it has mom over there written, your legacy lives on, which is 4th of May, 2018. yeah, so that's crazy, isn't it? So I cried, and it was obviously not tears of like I'm sad or whatever. I was like, this is crazy thought out, and yeah, that is. So now you know what I do. I'm a lecturer and I'm a chef. Oh, the sun is doing the best. I'm sorry if it's not facing, but yeah. Now that I think I've said so much in that space of time, now you know that my mom passed in 2018, January. I have a sister. I'm from Ukhonaye. I've been cooking since I was 10. Yeah, and I think that's what this episode should be really about, is that you guys really knowing me, and then the second episode and third episode, then we talk about everything else with different topics and what I think this cough up setting is going to be great, because you will get to understand my type of thinking and other people's thinking. Because what I'll try and do is, because you guys will have comments, I'm sure everyone has something to say, I will what you call it, try and read the comments from the previous episode, like, hey guys, the last episode, this is what you guys spoke about. So I've got my butter going, so if it starts sizzling away, it's cool, start sizzling away. So I've got my spoon, and yes, I've got brown spoons, and I've got black spoons, thanks to one of my colleagues, two of my colleagues, they bought me black spoons. But yeah, I've got different spoons. So once your butter is in there, you add your flour. So I'm just gonna have 2.5 spoons of flour, and you want to stir that. Now people is also, what are you looking for? What should happen? So you want it to cook off. Oh, the smell of butter, guys, the smell of butter is everything. So what I like saying is, you want to get all that flour really loose. You don't want any lumps. There's nothing bad like lumpy sauce. Now, so when it comes to mac and cheese, I like sort of slightly overcooking my pasta. So I'm gonna switch that off for now, because I want to show you what I'm gonna do. So you want it all loose, or that literally, you want it really loose. I'll show you now. I'll just add just one more spoon of, actually half a spoon of flour. Get that cooking off. And I always say to people, I like cooking my flour out. There's nothing like tasting a cheese sauce or a white sauce and you just like flour. No. So as I said, you just cook it off, you let it loosen. You want to get the smell of flour out. You want it to be buttery. Right, well that is going. It's quite low, so it's not going to burn or stick. These are non-stick, by the way. Just putting it out there. Let me show you quickly what I'm looking for. Okay, so you want literally this type of setting. All right, you want it just like that. You see, it's all yellow from the butter. Okay, great. All right, so once that's going, that's when you add your milk. All right, so I like adding my milk very slowly. I've got full cream, don't do half measure, don't do low fat, don't do skim, and whatever other milk there is out there. It's either full cream or we go home. All right, so you add your milk very slowly. Now obviously the liquid part is literally going to make the sauce. All right, so pour your milk nice and slow, and you're stirring. All you're doing is stirring. We're not making any lumpy sauce here. Again, don't worry about amounts. I will get those amounts for you on the website, and we shall cook. All right, that's going. Okay. So I always say to people, you have to make the sauce a little bit thin here. All right, when you're doing this, it has to be a little bit thin, because mac and cheese is still going to be baked, and you're still going to add cheese and all that. It's going to be really thick. So I always thin it out. And you need to cook it off again as well. So now it's thickening a lot. Let me add just a bit more milk. add just a bit more milk. And I don't like adding milk from the fridge, because now you're introducing two temperatures. This is already warm and now you're introducing a cold temperature. It's like, what are you doing? It needs to come up again to that temperature. Sorry, Part, I didn't mean to. I didn't think straight. Okay, so a lot of people would generally now add their salt and pepper. No. You don't add your salt and pepper. And you're going to see this pasta, it's so good for this mac and cheese situation, because it's got this cup thing going on, so every bite you are certain there's a sauce there. All right. Okay, it's nice and loose. Okay, once you are happy with the texture of your sauce, this is now when you add your cheese. See, that's how much I like cheese. You see that? I feel like that could be a nice thumbnail. Okay, that's what I did, but I'm not. So all the cheese that I've grated, I'm only adding a third to this white sauce. Only a third. Why a third? Because I'm adding only 2/3. Sorry, 2/3, yeah? Because the other third is going on top, because you want that, right? And I'll show you once all the cheese is melted how yum and scrumptious. So my stove is still on. It's still on. And it's going to thicken a lot, because obviously it's a lot of cheese. It's going to thicken a lot. And once all the cheese is sort of in, guys, I have to show you this. Like, let me show you. Guys, so here is my trick. This is the Ukhonaye. This is the first of the Ukhonaye touch. A teaspoon of garlic. This is the Ukhonaye touch. Teaspoon of garlic into that cheese while it's in there, because that's what we do. We take things to Flavor Town. We don't do half measures. We don't do, no, it has to be nice. Oh my gosh. Oh, you should smell this. So again, that's what you want. It's all that you want. I like this thickness. Like this thickness. So talking about pasta, you know, my students always laugh when they're like, oh, when we get to, let's say we're doing that, we're studying that, and they're like, oh, so, or anyone actually, my friends are like, oh, so when you make pasta, you don't add oil to your pasta. I'm like, okay, let's think about it. Let's be normal human beings. Does water and oil, do those two ever coexist? Unless you're making an emulsion, like a mayo or whatever, they don't, right? So when you add your oil on top, when you add your oil on top of the what do you call it, the water, when you drain off the water, what's on top of the water? The oil. So what was the point? And secondly, I don't add oil because I like my sauces sticking to my pasta. Now I don't want things sliding, because what I say to people, okay, the best way, if you want it to separate, what you do is very simple. After you're done, okay, we can switch off this now. It's nice. Oh, it's done. What you can do is very simple. Then after you've drained off all your liquid or your water, add oil, olive oil, run it through, done, boom, there, it's separated. But yeah, it's very strange. So I'm just quickly going to drain off the excess water. And that being said, do not, this is just a hint, do not drain all your liquid. All right, do not. You want it, because again, you want it to loosen that pasta very nicely and also to thin out your sauce. So here it is. I'm pouring it all on top of the pasta, all of it. Oh, guys, I'm going to show you how it looks like now while I'm stirring it. This is brilliant. Brilliant, I tell you. Brilliant. Okay, put that on the side. Oh, I'm literally salivating like crazy. So look at this. Look at this goodness. Look at this. Look at all this yumminess. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. You see how I left a bit of water, and because obviously it's cups, so there's water inside. It's good. It's loosening it so nicely. Look, I want you to see that. Look. I hope you're watching. Don't get distracted. Look at that. That is it. We have found the elixir of pasta. That's it. So once that's done, now you add your salt and pepper, right? So what I like doing is tasting, because remember we boil our pasta with salt and all of that. A bit of salt will do. So seasoning is right. Oh, that garlic. And then I've got black pepper. Now this black pepper, it's a mixture of crushed black pepper and powdered. I like that mix. A lot of people don't like the bite. Like if you bite into peppercorn, I like it. It just really kicks your mouth and all of that. Okay, that is done. That is done. And then I've got a fold up dish, all right? And all you do is add your pasta, all right? You add all of that pasta in. Oh, do you see my knife tattoo? Great, right? Oh, my maths was correct. That is brilliant. All right, all of that is in there. Done. So obviously you don't always how do I put it? You don't always get all the cheese sauce, white sauce out of the pot. So like what I like doing is go back with a bit of bread. So there you see the last third of my cheese. Just sprinkle on top. I'll show you once it's all sprinkled on top. And the nice thing is that the pasta is cooked. So the only thing we're looking for here is just getting your cheese melted. So everyone likes their cheese to a certain degree, you know. Some people really like it brown and all of that. I'm part of those. I'm part of those people who is not satisfied until it's like it looks all crispy. All right. Okay. Let me quickly show you that. Oh, this is gonna be so great. Supper sorted for today. Look at that. Look. All that cheese, we're just waiting for all this cheese to melt and be done. All right. So my oven is on 200 because it's a quick thing. You know, it's a quick thing. It's not that hectic, it's not that deep. So have it in the oven. Okay. So once that's in the oven, I've got something else here. I've got sour cream. I'm going to show you how I eat mac and cheese. All right. I like sour cream. Sometimes what I do with sour cream, I sometimes just put a little bit when I'm sort of stirring my pasta in. Gives it a nice sour, but still part of the creamy, cheesy family and all of that. All right. So now that we have time to ourselves when I'm cooking, let's chat, you know. So you know all of this about me now. You know my family. I've got a lot of friends. I'm one person who loves meeting new people. I love spaces. Obviously, the time we're in does not allow us to go and socialize out in the streets. But I love new spaces. I love trying out new things. I love trying out new drinks, new food spots, and all of that. I love the arts, so that means I love concerts. I just love life. Let me put it like that. I just love life. What else can you know about me? My age. I am turning 26 on the 8th of September. 26. Yeah. I've done quite a lot. Let's talk about me as a chef. Yeah. So, as I said, I started cooking at the age of 10 and went through high school and all of that. I'm not really as like a thing that I ever thought it would be like a career. I'm only in like grade 10. It started like, well, I could be a chef, I could be on TV, I could do all these things, I could travel, it will offer me that opportunity. And so I cooked most of my life, listen, dinner was always on me, weekends, my dad made the breakfast, which I'm not a fan of, because my sister knows, we actually spoke about this 2 weeks ago, because my dad's breakfasts are quite dangerous to anyone's health to eat them, because I've never met anyone who deep fries an egg, and that is not the whole point of him doing that, but it's deep frying, because our pans at home are like really, really thick, and fills it up with oil, cracks his eggs are like swimming for dear life in that oil, and I'm just like, okay, we all cook differently, we all have different methods. And he takes it a step further. He deep fries his pilchards, his tinned fish. He removes the tomato sauce, removes the whatever bones, whatever, and then he deep fries that with a bit of, so he puts onion first and then puts the fish in there. He's removed the eggs. So when he dishes up, it's quite the plate. It's quite no. It's quite, I don't I don't know how to put it. It's quite a lot, because there's just oil sliding everywhere, and he sits there and enjoys his breakfast like nobody's business, like he's not gonna have a heart attack from all that oil. He just sits there, and he always cuts his bread into like little blocks, so little small squares, so one slice has 4, and he sits there, and I'm like, no thanks, I'm sorry, I'll have something else. So that is my cooking. And left high school, and so this is me, I'm also very adventurous. I'm one of those people, if an idea comes, we're doing it. Or I should believe I used to be more of that person. Now that has calmed down a bit with growing up a bit, which I hate. I wish I could, I'm trying to work at it again, that when I want to do something, if I want a new job, just go, I want to move a new city, because that's what I used to do. So past matric, I went to Mconi Boys High in Ukhonaye. Yo, me alright. Matriculated 2012. And I was like, I'm moving to Cape Town. And my parents were like, to study what? I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to study. But all I know is that ndiyoluka ngoDisemba, ndiyaphuma, ndiyekapa. That we know. What am I going to study? How I'm going to study it? What do they call it? That's not my portion. That's not my thing to worry about. I'm going to Cape Town, I'm going to study, and I'm going to live, and we're going to make it work. That's all we're doing. What we're going to study, how can you afford it? That's not my portion. That's not my thing. My portion is done. Told you I'm studying, and all of that. So 2-3 days before I left Cape Town, I was like, okay, let's try just any college. I was like, okay, let's see. And during this time, this is the time when I knew I wanted to be a chef. So it was hard for me to say this to my parents, because my parents were like, you want to go to a college to learn how to cook? What are they going to teach you that's new? You've been cooking since you were 10. You're 18 now. So 8 years of cooking. What are you doing? Like, you want to waste our money? Is that's what you want to do? You want to waste our money? That's it. I was like, fine, I'll do something in business then. So I did a higher certificate in business, and that was like, had a whole lot of stuff. Then while doing that, I fell in love with one of the modules, which was communication, and then I fell in love with marketing. I was like, okay, since I'm not allowed yet to study this, that was like a 1-year course. Completed that, and then the following year, I was like, so I don't want to work in business. So what are we going to do? And then it was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll go study marketing. I was like, okay, now I'm moving to Joburg. Let's go to UJ. Got accepted preliminarily. Yeah, right? And then bought my bus ticket don't take buses no more. That's not my life, not my brand. Took a bus, paid for the bus, and then the day before I was supposed to leave, do I not get a call from UJ like, oh, by the way, the course that you want to do, it's full, there's no space for you. I was like, I don't know, that's a sign. And that was like the only place. Oh no, that was not the only place. I went to, okay, then since Joburg doesn't work, let's go back to Cape Town. And then I was going for marketing at CPUT, yes. And then I remember, this is a crazy story, because this is how I met one of my